Views and opinions of any of the guests of After Hours AM are not necessarily the views and opinions of After Hours AM, its hosts, its staff, or any of its affiliates.
Welcome to the After Hours program.
Are you ready?
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Now broadcasting live from the After Hours AM studio, Joel Sturgis.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of After Hours AM. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis. Right along with me is Mr. Michael O'Neill, and we are your guides to all things strange and wonderful. Today, we got a great show on tap for you. Top of next hour, stick around. Richel Stratton, Brian Murray coming on, Ghost Hunters, over there on A&E. They'll be sitting in with us. I'm really interested to hear about what it's like behind the scenes of that show. Great show. I like watching it quite a bit, and it is one of the top shows out there. I really am looking forward to speaking with those two. But in the meantime, Mike, how the hell are you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful.
Excellent.
I can't complain. I really cannot complain. I mean, I could complain, but everybody knows the old rule. No one listens anyway, so why even do it? Unfortunately, in our family, we had a death, so that is unfortunate. And I want to thank everybody that gave the condolences and said sorry for your loss. I really interacted with me. I want to thank you so much, but it's more not about me. It's about my cousin. She passed away of cancer. Horrible, horrible disease. And if we can get more awareness out there and more people involved, the biggest thing that you can help to fight cancer is donate your time, donate some cash. I mean, this is a fight that's still ongoing, nowhere near done. We think we have, we've come far with cancer. We really have, but we're nowhere near that point to where it's no longer a threat. And a lot of good people are dying of it. She was unfortunately only 48 years old, way too young to lose that battle. But again, I want to thank everyone that stuck around and said, hey, sorry for your loss. But it is all about her. So thank you guys again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's new in your world?
Nada. It's Thursday night, so Saturday night, so we have 2 days left. The promotion for to become and be a special guest co-host on this show for buying your order for Parunity ends Saturday night.
You get to come on air with Mike and myself. And
yeah.
You can be a part of that fun. You can see behind the scenes, see what radio is like. It might actually jumpstart someone's career. You might love it so much that you decide to do it for yourself.
That is true. Actually, that is what happened with me. A little bit. I went on a friend of mine's show on Pair X and as a guest and loved it. And went and asked Dave if he wanted to come and be a co-host with me for the Odyssey Files, and we created that show, and that was 3 years ago. So a lot of people would say that he's just trying to promote it, that kind of thing, but that actually does happen.
It's your baby. The Odyssey
Files,
it's your baby.
The Odyssey Files is my baby. But,
it's your baby.
But I don't think that it would have existed if I hadn't gotten that, I don't know, that foot, I don't want to say foot in the door, but like gotten that sense.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
The smell in the nostrils.
Yeah, you get bit by the bug is what happens.
Pretty much.
I started when I was 16. They were looking for,
I did not.
They were looking for a weekend DJ, and I was the tender age of 16, and someone gave me a chance, and next thing you know, here we are, still sitting here doing it. So everyone kind of comes to the radio thing differently, and radio has changed so much over the years too, Mike. I mean, it used to be AM, FM only, like that was it, nothing else. And AM, FM was hard to get on. It still is. AM, FM is still the gold standard in radio. I mean, it is very hard for a lot of shows to get on, but now the internet has changed all that for the better, I think, because now we're able to bring a whole lot more people to broadcasting that have great opinions that need to be heard. And so
yes,
it's a good
but
thing.
Obviously the downfall of that is it brings a lot of people to the radio whose opinions should never be heard.
There's a lot of crap. Yeah, there's a lot of shows that probably they should have stayed listeners rather than hosts, but that's with anything, that's with anything. I don't care if you're part of a knitting club or if you're part of a bowling league. There's always going to be people that, because the old adage is the great ones make it look easy, and it makes you think that anyone could do it, and then they quickly find out it's a lot harder than it looks. But that's just what I think and say.
I don't know about that. So I mean, for anybody that's listening right now, if you listen to this show, which I'm very thankful that you do, and you think, well, if they can do it, I can certainly do it. Well, then you'll have your chance. So you can go to mnparacon.com.
That was a horrible segue.
Oh, come on. No,
what are you, Seth Meyers?
Yeah. Actually, I think Seth Meyers wants to be me.
Oh, no, but here's the thing, is if you want to come on air with us, and I really encourage you to join that, I will step aside and let my esteemed colleague fill you in on all the awesome details.
Of the Minnesota Para-Unity Convention?
Well, I'll chime in when needed, but man, go ahead, let her rip, Tater Chip.
We'll do. So October 1st through the 3rd, this year, it is still happening. It's still on schedule. No plans at the present moment. I mean, obviously that may change come September, but no plans right now of changing it, changing the time or the people that are part of it. But October 1st, we have the VIP dinner, which that in itself is like worth the trip, because that is where all of these, I have a hard time calling them celebs because I think of them as like colleagues, almost like coworkers, because we're all in the same field. And so I have a hard time calling them celebs, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to leave it that way. They'll all be there, and not only will they won't be on a stage. Usually the last two VIP dinners that I was a part of with the Shooting Star Paracon was that they were all up on stage, and all of us were down on the tables. Not this year.
Can I butt in?
Of course.
I did the Paracon in Monoman, as you know. I was usually the radio, and I was stuck on that stage eating, and it kind of gave, just from my own point of view, an us and them feel. And I never liked that us and them feel because we're all there together. You see what I'm saying? I do. I've never felt like I should be on the stage while the lowly commoners eat below me. And that always bothered me because of that. We should be all together in that. There should be a lot more mingling going on than the others. It almost felt like a hierarchy, and I'm not into that.
No, and I completely agree. And that's why, like I said, I have a hard time calling them celebs, because just because they're on TV doesn't mean that they're any more or less an investigator than you and I are. And we all do the same thing. We all try to help people. And it's just we all get to watch them do it. Nobody gets to come on my investigations except my team. But they are going to be down. There's going to be no stage. I mean, there is going to be a stage, just they're not going to be eating on it. So if you want to sit at Grant Wilson's table, you want to sit at Adam Berry and Amy Bruni's table, everybody gets to eat dinner with somebody. So I'm going to be spreading them out. But that's not the good thing about the VIP dinner, because the night's entertainment are going to be the people who volunteered. I did not force them to do this, and I should have with some of them, but I couldn't. They are going to be competing against each other in lip sync battles. So you're going to see Michelle Belanger versus John Tenney, Chris Fleming versus Chip Coffey. I can't wait for that one. We have Natalie Jones versus Mike Couch, which is going to be kind of setting the stage for everybody. They're going to be the kickoff. And then as of right now, and I might have one more I'm going to add later, but The main event is Dustin Perry versus Chad Lindbergh. And they are going to be performing lip sync battles for everybody's
was
amusement.
really hoping to see Lauren Coleman do it. That would have been so funny.
I did not ask. If that is something people want to see, I will. I will ask.
Wait, hold on. They want to see you, Mike.
You're completely wrong.
They want to see you and me go head to head.
I think you're lying.
100%. Okay, you know what? Put it out to email poll. Email me throughout the week. Yay or nay? Should me and Mike go head to head at the Para-Unity Convention in Lip Sync Challenge? Go ahead. And maybe we can even make this in a donation situation. That way we can help out. Maybe we'll pick a charity like Cancer Research to give whatever. If you guys feel like giving a few bucks that way too, that would help a lot.
So out there in strings or what?
What? Huh?
Are we going to go out there in G-strings or what? I mean,
well, no, you don't seem to understand. I'm a lip sync master.
Actually.
Oh my God!
You?
I am. I truly am.
I have no interest whatsoever in seeing if that's true or not.
Look at that. We put down the challenge, guys, and he backs away.
I didn't back away. I never walked up.
That's okay. We know.
Okay. If it is the will of the people, and I'm not saying like 10 people can email you. Like I want a poll of at least 200.
Oh, we can do better than that. Let's do 100,000.
200,000 people. Well, only 200 people can get into the VIP dinner.
This is true, but see, I was thinking about putting on YouTube.
Well, you were thinking incorrectly.
I was thinking that, maybe throw it on YouTube after the fact and let our public speak.
Yeah, we'll see. But, and there's only like 50 tickets left for the VIP dinner.
That's going
so
quick.
You're really going to want to get on that. It's catered in. Obviously, you get your meals covered. Open cash bar. I almost said open bar. That means free, right? Like
that does mean free.
Okay, cash bar.
You had me an open bar, but then you changed it to cash.
I can never remember exactly how that's phrased because I don't drink.
Yeah.
So it's just not in my
vocabulary.
vocabulary.
Nor do I a whole lot, to be honest with you. But if it's free, it's the price for me. But it's not free.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure like Coca-Cola or whatever is probably.
Let me tell you a story about an open bar. I was at an iHeartRadio event years ago, and they had an open bar. And that tab was $39,000.
Yep.
For the company when everything was said and done.
Yep, sounds about right.
People were double fisting it all night. I mean, it was a mess. It really was a mess.
Maybe if everybody can come together and make Unity a success this year, maybe 2024.
2024.
I will have enough extra capital to throw into the event where it will be an open bar as opposed to a cash bar. But I need your help.
Well, yeah, that's a work in progress. Baby steps.
So obviously that's just the VIP dinner. Then we move on to the main event. And that obviously is Friday, Saturday, 2-day Unity event. We got speakers both days, all day, opening up with my team, of course. I can't organize an event enough. I'm sorry, I can't. Nobody's going to kick this thing off with more passion and excitement.
Nobody is more humble than Mike.
There's that too. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but yeah, then we have Chuck Zukowski, Heather Taddy, Michelle Belanger, the new Kirks, Steve Gonzalez, and Amy and Adam for Friday. We have a friend of the show, Keith Hopkins, from Gravedigger Dave's
Halfway House. That was actually a huge hit in the area. A lot of people
There you go.
enjoyed that movie, and so you'll be able to meet him as well and see clips of the movie. He'll be doing a Q&A, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but then when I did speak with him, you guys had talked about Q&A, so that'll be interesting to talk about that. And then, a lot of local talent will be there, so that's always nice to see as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
There'll be
that's the plus.
The hall that this convention is being held in can hold 140 vendor booths. It's not going to get that big. I wish it would be that big. But just to fill you in on how big this room is. So plenty of room for vendors, for teams, for psychic mediums, for authors, for artists. There's talk of a tattoo artist that was going to be there. Anything that you want to throw in there. If you want a booth, go to mnparacon.com and you can get your booth there.
Exactly like I used to say when I used to call monster truck rallies. You're going to pay for the whole seat, but you're only going to need the edge.
Only going to need the edge. Yeah, and to top it off, iHeartRadio and After Hours AM will be covering this event live the entire weekend.
Whole weekend, we'll be running around microphones. It'll be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun.
We're going to be everywhere. Don't worry.
And if you get your tickets in the next 2 days, you will be entered into the drawing to come on the show.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So be a part of that, guys. Make sure you get those tickets. I really want to see you guys come on air with us. I think it would be a lot of fun. I know it will be a lot of fun. And actually, the real fun on this show begins when the commercials are rolling.
I can't say anything bad, wrong about that.
But again, get your tickets. Go to mnparacon.com. Make sure you get those tickets. Get them early. You don't want to miss out. It is the premier paranormal event of the season. Check it out. Don't miss it. October 1st to the 3rd, 2020, Duluth Convention Center. That particular hall you're holding it in, I have been in that several times doing events, and it is a wonderful hall, by the way. And so lots of room, just perfectly set up for our needs, and more importantly, perfectly set up for your needs. And so Mike did a wonderful job putting this convention together, worked his butt off, and really want to see you guys all there.
Well, I definitely do.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Exactly.
I definitely want to see everybody there.
Everybody.
There's and then one last thing that I just want to mention really quick. If you are coming if you have to travel through an entire state in order to get there, as soon as I receive the email with your order, you will then receive from me the discount hotel rooms.
Perfect.
That I have set up.
Perfect.
So just to take a little edge off the travel.
And the VIP dinner is taking place at the historic depot in downtown Duluth. Haunted. Very haunted. Been there several times myself. Investigated several times. It does hold water. It is a very haunted joint. Love it every time I'm there.
It's a beautiful building. Yeah,
it is wonderful. I cannot wait. There'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a great weekend. Time to let your hair down after everything that we've all gone through together. And we will make it there, and we are hoping against hope that everything gets better in the meantime, which we just know it will. And it will be time to treat yourself.
Yeah, there you go. Treat yourself. Yeah, it's a great way. I mean, it's a great way to have something to look forward to.
Exactly. All right, well, that is it right there. Again, mnparacon.com. Get your tickets. Now, when it comes to tickets, I'm going to run down the prices for you guys quick. If you're listening, you're curious, well, what's this great thing going to cost? Oh, my gosh, surely thousands. No, not thousands, not even hundreds. Friday only past $30. Saturday only past $30. Get both of them combined, it's $50. VIP dinner, get this, $55. You cannot get the kind of entertainment for less than that. Come on, that's a ridiculously cheap price. And for you vendors out there that are looking, because I know it's been a hard time, a lot A lot of vendors are not making the money they wish they were because of what we have going on in this country and around the world. Vendors' tables are only $225. You'll be able to make a few bucks. And then if I got to mention this because I'm really looking forward to this. Chip Coffee will be doing gallery readings for $50. You can get in on Chip Coffee. Gallery reading, $50. Be there. I'm sure it'll be a very intimate setting with Chip. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to talk with the great Chip Coffee and get a reading from him. You potentially get a reading in the gallery. So right there is a lot of fun. So everything combined, you'll be less than $300 in just for tickets.
It's about everything.
I mean, if you bought everything, you're golden. Plus your hotel room, that's cheap trip. Plus Duluth is a wonderful city, and to be honest, they need the help too. That city also needs the help because they lost a lot too, right along with us. So that being said, again, you want to check out mnparacon.com.
Yeah.
Ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
All right, we got stories. Mike, are you evens or odds this week? Which one would you like? It's all up to you.
I'm going to be evens because there's a story that involves a cat.
Okay, hi, Mike and Joel. This one comes from rare. Here we go. All right, Mike and Joel. I wanted to get your thoughts. We've had issues like glass breaking that is in the center of a corner. My daughter, at the time she was 9 years old, talking to herself. Then when I came in to ask who she's speaking with, she says that she heard voices calling to her, and she thought it might be me, etc., stuff like that. But just now, in broad daylight, I'm laying in bed, and I heard the cloth window shade move. Ooh, well, it is a window in the curtain. Anyhow, it's maybe 5 feet from me, so I look, and the shade had been pushed to close a little after I opened it 10 minutes ago. Also, the other night, I fell asleep, and as I jerked awake for 2 seconds, I saw a woman in a gown smiling, standing in front of me like she was watching the TV. Like the TV, wow, tongue twisters. They're standing in front of the TV like she was watching it. There we go. I'll get that right eventually. Wow. Woo, it's been a long week. Folks.
I was going to say, it's a good thing that this section's an hour.
Yeah, right? Not a problem. We'll make it through the rest. Not a problem. Tongue twister city there at the end. So basically what you're saying is you got the little girl when she was 9, and we don't know how old she is now because it really doesn't give us a reference of time. She was hearing or talking to herself, and then when you asked, of course, she was talking to somebody, a voice calling to her. She thought it was you. That's strange. Broad daylight, things moving around. I don't know. I would say you got a little action going on. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit. I would like to know, obviously, how far apart are these incidents?
Yeah.
It is glass breaking in 2010. Her daughter's in 2012.
Yeah.
And
a chronological
order
of events.
I would just like to know how far apart the. Now, the glass breaking on the counter is cool. I actually had a case where something like that was happening at an antique store. They had a glass like display case, and they had a huge amethyst crystal in it.
Mm-hmm.
And one day the owner arrived, and this crystal was sitting on the shelf in like 1,000 pieces.
Wow!
And it looked like it had exploded from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
We never really got an explanation, or never really figured out what happened with that. But it has happened. So yeah. I don't know exactly what kind of paranormal power would have to go into something like that.
Sure. Well, what had happened to me, I had a glass break on me one time. What it was super cold glass. It was full of ice, had a drink in it, man. It was super chilled. And the hot light from the sun hit it, and it broke the glass. The difference of heat actually expanded the glass enough to break it.
Yep.
So that was mine. I watched that happen in real time. Like, oh, what the hell? And it was actually the sun that caused that glass to expand and shatter and fracture. So I'm not saying that's the case for you, but there are sometimes some mundane reasons, too, for this stuff happening.
Some natural explanations, yep. And a really rapid temperature change would definitely do that to glass.
Yeah. And this poor gal, though, she's having everything that's going on. I understand why you'd be writing and you're looking for some advice. I guess what I would do is I would, first, without knowing or having some idea of how long ago this was or how long between incidences, I would say if you're really concerned about it, you could always have a reputable, and I stress reputable group in your area, come check it out with you.
Yeah, no, I definitely would. I mean, because especially the thing that gets me is the statement of, but just now.
Yeah.
Which means it happened, and then she wrote us.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
They do that a lot to us, don't they?
They do, and I love it. But, and it says the other night. So, I mean, there's a couple things here that have been very
rapid
recent.
fire, yeah.
So I definitely, I don't know exactly where this person lives, but I would definitely try to find a reputable paranormal team to either talk to about it, so they can ask questions, get more details and information from you than what we have here.
Exactly.
And have it investigated.
Yeah, I agree, but before Mike decides to go on a cat-hating rampage that I'm going to have nothing to do with, because all the views and opinions that are mentioned by Mike from here on in are his alone.
Yes.
And do not reflect me or iHeartRadio or any of our affiliates. So we're on a break before this tirade goes down, but I'm pretty well guaranteed it will go down. So if you're a cat lover, remember the hatred emails can go to Mike. Just bypass me this time. All right. That being said, we'll be right back right after this.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location.
My backyard.
Oh, your backyard. Try telling a bear that.
I did, and this bear talked back.
Talking bear, that's Rich.
No, wait, it was Smokey Bear.
Smokey. Why didn't you say so?
I did say so.
Continue.
I was burning yard waste.
Oh, boy.
He told me to burn legally and responsibly, and to remember that if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
And as always, he's right. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Yeah, I know that now.
Thanks to me.
Actually, thanks to Smokey.
As usual, the talking bear gets all the credit. Get your Smokey on. Always burn responsibly and contact your local fire department for open burning regulations. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Northern Tool and Equipment.
I got a rather serious problem over here.
All right, what are we looking at?
Cranky mother-in-law asleep on the couch in the man cave.
Dear God.
It gets worse.
That's impossible.
She's passed out on the remote.
I stand corrected.
What do I do?
Okay, I want you to grab a Torrent Big Red hydraulic bottle jack.
Okay.
Now you wedge that bad boy in under your mother-in-law and crank her up skyward.
It's working. Got the remote.
Great. Now grab that Torrent Big Red 2-ton folding shop crane and put that woman on wheels.
And away we go.
There's no problem a little horsepower can't solve. Northern Tool and Equipment.
Hey guys, it's After Hours AM, and you're listening to Joel and Mike, and we're having a great time. And as promised, Mike reads next. And again, like I said, don't take it out on me. All right, here we go.
Yes, all of my opinions, anything that comes out of my mouth, is mine.
And he's quite opinionated.
I'm quite opinionated. All right, this comes from Judy. I used to have a cat named Stevie. He passed away from an urinary tract infection under the bathroom sink. Recently, I walked into the bathroom and got chills, so I ran out. I walked into my mom's room and sat on the floor. Beside me, I saw white paws. My cat was an all-white flamed point Siamese. I started to tear up. I could feel him there. I've also seen his paws reach underneath the bathroom door.
All right. So go ahead, Mike.
Many things with this. First, why did getting chills make you run out of the bathroom? That's my main question.
Maybe she was afraid of the cat.
But she didn't know the cat was...
Yeah,
she didn't know the cat was there. But the cat was already dead.
Yeah, the cat was dead, and so evidently this would be, I'm assuming, from the story, a paranormal activity thing going on. Okay, why does the hauntings in the bathroom always happen? Because it's the one room you have to use, right? It sucks if the bathroom is haunted.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people over the years have asked me if I've ever been scared or what would scare me. And the answer is no, it hasn't. But what would is a ghost trying to mess with me while I'm using the bathroom.
Right? That'd be the worst. Or the demon is in the corner looking at you while you're dropping the deuce.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty horrible.
Because what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere.
Well, there's very few times that you're more vulnerable than when you're in that room.
Exactly.
So, but anyhow, getting back to you, Judy, it would seem now, I would think that maybe your kitty's reaching out to you from the other side. I hope. I really don't. I got nothing, man. I got nothing. I mean, you're in the can. You get a chill up your spine. Normally, I get a chill, but it's because I have to go to the bathroom or tingly feeling. I walked into my mom's room, sat on the floor beside me. Okay, I saw white paws. I gotcha. It sounds like you might have a pussycat haunting on your hands.
What a wonderful way of phrasing that.
Well, it's a cat.
It is a cat.
It's a cat. It's a pussycat.
But now it's a demon.
Well, no, it changed after death.
Right.
Yeah,
once
once
the demon soul left the meat suit of the cat, now it's back to being a demon.
So you believe, at least from this statement, that not all demons are cats, but all cats are demons?
Yes.
All right, then. All right.
As we reach radio silence.
Demonic entities are always in our earthly realm take forms of cats.
That's why they're always trying to kill us.
Well, they're not trying to kill you, Mike.
No, they are.
They're trying to love you.
No, they're trying to kill you.
Sometimes love hurts, Mike.
Right, like when they tried to trip you down the stairs.
My cat never... Well, yeah, my cat has tried to trip me down
the
steps.
Uh-huh.
And he is completely a black cat, my cat.
There's no difference.
And so he would be, if we're in witch times, if you're a believer, he'd be like a lichen. So, he might be evil. I'm not sure. He does do some evil things now I think about it.
See, there you go.
Now that I think about it.
Everybody wants to love their cat, and I understand that. I really do. But they're blind. They're blinded to the horror that their cat tries to inflict upon them. Until I bring it up, and then they're like, "No, my cat is a saint. My cat loves me." Yeah. And they're like, "But there was the time that it did this."
Have you ever gotten conversations with people about their cats being demonic?
No.
Oh, you have not?
No, nobody will talk to me about that.
Oh, no one will. They just don't want to deal with the truth, is what you're saying, that their cats are all evil. Cats will, if you die, let's just say, in a room with your cat.
Yes.
But they start with the arms.
That's
they
nice.
Eat your arms first, then they move to your face. That's a study they released about a year ago.
That's because there's a lot of meat on the arm.
Yeah, and it's easy to get to that whole
If
thing.
they get to the stomach, that's where all the fat and grizzle is.
Yeah, some more than others.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Me, I would be like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're well marbled, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I am an old country buffet with a free sign on me if I die.
For a cat. Yeah.
Yes.
For a cat. Well, that's a good thing you don't own a cat.
That is correct.
I'm assuming you don't own a cat after you've regaled us with your hatred of such animals.
That is why I will die of a heart attack instead of being murdered by a feline.
Okay. Well, good enough for me. I mean, you're scared of cats.
Right. So, I mean, going back to actually, Judy's email. Just like people, even our pets can hang around for a while. And sometimes they might not even know that they have died. So they might still think that they are still around.
Yes. Let me tell you a personal story about animals coming back. We had a Chihuahua. His name was Moose. Yes, there's a reason, because he thought he was ginormous. He thought he was the biggest dog on the block. I love that dog. My wife loved that dog, but he got to be up in his years, and of course he passed away. And, this is a year ago April he passed away. And for the first several months, I swear to God, I'd hear his bark. I'd hear his claws on the floor. When you walk, because we're hardwood floors. You just see him. You see him on the corner of your eye, or I swear to God, we'd hear him bark. And because we're so used to that bark for such a long time, it took a minute to register. Oh, wait a minute, he's passed away. To the point where I'd call for him. Hey, Moose, get over here. Where he was letting off or barking or doing this or doing that. So, yeah, I do believe that there's some credence to that. Animals, that they are loving beings. Maybe even on a way different level than we are. Think about how loyal dogs are. Dogs will give their life for you. They will. A good dog will give their life for you.
Yeah.
Talk about that kind of love right there. So it makes perfect
dogs
sense.
are God's sweat.
Yes. I guess we'll have to agree on that one. I love my dog. I have a dog. You don't own a dog, right?
Not yet.
No.
Give me time.
I have a black lab.
Nice.
Black lab German Shepherd mix named Willow, and she is about the best thing on four legs. She's a wonderful animal. And so, yep, we love our animals, and it sounds like, Judy, you're no exception. So, and that's okay. And hopefully your cat was trying to communicate some type of love to you from the other side. If Mike has anything to say about it, no, it was just trying to possess your soul. But I'm saying there might be some love there.
Well, of course. I mean, people do love their pets, but whether it's a two-way street, that's
yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on. Tanner writes us. When my grandfather died 30 years ago, strange things occurred in our house. Doors were opening and closing by themselves. The lights were flickering on and off. The paintings on the walls were spinning around like crazy. Oh my God, you live in Amityville. The whole thing continued only during the first week after his death and only at night. A few days later, everything stopped. It was really scary, and it took me a while to get over it. Yeah, that there's a lot there to unpack in that small story. So you're telling me, and again, I believe it. I believe all of our listeners. We have the most truthful audience in radio. So you're telling me lights are flickering on and off, and then to top it off, you had painting spinning around like crazy, and you didn't run out of the house going, "Oh my flipping God!" I mean, most of us when that happened would be so startled. Their first reaction would be to leave and sort it out. Am I right, Mike?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't, but I mean,
I'm saying the average individual. People with something to live for, they might actually leave.
But people who just kind of give it up on life, they would just look at it and be like, eh.
Yeah, I've seen worse. I had a cat once. No.
I own a cat. I'm good. But I mean, I've talked about this many, many times before on the show about people who have just died sticking around for a week, a month, sometimes a couple months, to make sure that their loved ones are going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I mean, lights flickering is a probably the biggest example. There we go.
Two things are
the biggest example of that. There are a lot of people who claim that when they talk about their loved ones to a wife or a son or whatever, that the lights will flicker. I honestly think that this is probably just your grandfather letting you know that not only is he still around, but he's all right. Even though I will say the whole paintings thing, probably a little bit more dramatic than he needed to be.
Are you trying to say in the most polite way possible that probably never happened?
No, I'm sure it probably happened. But I'm just saying that maybe if that's what the grandfather, in my opinion, is trying to do, maybe he went a little overboard.
Well, maybe. It could be. I mean, the lights flickering, that could be artifact of bad wiring. You know, I've been in homes where I've been investigating, and that was one of the claims. I'd hit the wall and the lights would flicker.
Yep, I've actually had that happen too.
You know, so they've got a couple light switches that have not been wired incorrectly. And so you hit the wall and it'll flicker if you do it next to the light switch, or even could have a break in the wiring that's intermittently breaking connection, which is dangerous, by the way. If you're having that is not a good thing. You're going to want an electrician check that out for sure, because it could arc and burn down your place. But the paintings, I mean, maybe your grandpa was spinning around paintings. I mean, that would be awesome to see happen.
I would like to say one more thing about the lights that I have found to be a possible villain here, and that is when lights have dimmer switches.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't give it enough power for it to fully come on, and it starts to I don't want to say shift power, but it starts to flicker a little bit.
Yep. And I have dabbled in electricity. And it would seem that the rotary ones are more susceptible than the ones that resemble standard light switch for the dimmer.
Yep.
And they're a little more susceptible because the rotary points in there get a little wacko. So, but that's what's going on. Definitely have that checked out. And you are right on all counts. A little dramatic on the paintings. I'm sure that they were shaking a bit, but were they spinning? I guess I'm asking him, was a full-blown, spinning on the axis? You know what I mean? How badly are we talking here? Like spinning like a propeller, or just a little movement back and forth? What are we talking about here?
Yeah. I guess when you say spinning around like crazy, I see a pinwheel.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. So Tanner, if you can elaborate a little bit, we would be more than happy to hear that. You know, if you want to elaborate on a few things, doors always open afterhoursam@gmail.com, as you know, because you emailed in. So if you would like to give us more information, we'd love that. All right, go ahead. Right. It's your turn.
This one is from Cindy. I'm really interested in this one. So my boyfriend and I have started to get bruises and random cuts without feeling it, but notice it on our bodies later on. Could this be paranormal? They are very noticeable, so it's bizarre we didn't feel the initial hit or cut. I have one on me I could take a picture of if interested. I'm always interested.
Yeah, I got a hold of Cindy. I'm not sure if she's got my message yet. I did email her back, and she will be sending us some pictures of both her and her boyfriend, because we did communicate back and forth.
Gotcha.
So she will be sending some pictures in to the After Hours AM Gmail, and then I will share those with you directly, Mike, because maybe she does live in the area.
Gotcha. Okay. So I mean, I have two questions. Obviously, do these happen during the day? Like when you get up in the morning, you go, you're perfectly fine. You eat breakfast, you go to work, you come home from, a hard day at work, and all of a sudden you look down and you see a bruise.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Or do you go to bed perfectly fine, and then in the morning when you get up, all of a sudden you have, each of you have bruises on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is what I need to know. I need to know what the timeline here is.
Yeah, Cindy, give us more information. We'd be happy to help you. So just to get me those pictures and more information, we'll get together and we'll figure something out as far as looking deeper into it with you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, okay, here we go. Hi, Joel and Mike. My name is Susan. And speaking of wonderful animals, that was my dog in the background, by the way, in studio. Be good. You're on radio. I would like your thoughts. But I guess I'll start here. A few weeks ago, a light switch in the room was turned off right in front of me and a coworker. She believes in paranormal stuff, and she said things have happened to her at work before. But just now, I'm at home. I left my bedroom to go downstairs, and when I came back, my light switch in my bedroom was turned off. While I was in the hall, I noticed that it was off. As soon as I noticed, I may or may not have heard something. That noise may be in my head, as I was a little freaked out about it, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Has anyone experienced or heard anything like this happening? Yeah.
All the time.
I'm one of them. I've had this happen to me. I am a bit of a ghost magnet. And sometimes when I will come back from investigation, despite my best efforts, I will have a hitchhiker. And sometimes those hitchhikers have made their presence known in various ways. And one of those various ways, for me anyway, has been messing with turning on and off light switches. One, like to turn my faucet on. That got a little annoying because I go downstairs and my kitchen faucet would be on. And that, because there's an expense there. If you're turning off lights, I'm okay with that because you're helping me. But not when you turn the faucet on. So we had a discussion. But it does happen. Mike, I'm sure you've heard of similar things happening to people.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it happens a lot. I mean, especially, if she's going on, and this is my assumption with reading this, is that whatever was happening at work followed her home.
That would be my guess. I gathered that as well. It was something that liked her and decided, hey, I'm going to go hang out with this person for a little while. Yeah,
I think the one job where it happens a lot is nurse. A nurse, hospice, hospital nurse, anything like that, where they tend to patients that end up dying because they liked you. They might want to say thank you, or maybe they liked you a lot, and they're like, hey, now I'm free to follow her, like a crazy person. But it does happen a lot,
or confused.
Especially with confused. Yeah, like they've passed away, and the person that they know and see more than anything at that point in time is you, as the nurse. So that definitely happens a lot. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but I would definitely need to know. Because if you work the register at McDonald's, I don't know why somebody would, one, be there to begin with, and two, why they would follow you home.
This is true.
So I would really want to know what the profession is.
Yeah. Little more information would be great, Susan. That'd be awesome. You don't have to give where you work or anything. Just give what you do, maybe. And so we have a little more information to go on. So that would be great, and we'd love to hear it because that is very interesting. I mean, obviously, it gave you pause for this happening, but I'm telling you, it's happened to me several times, and it's usually very short-lived. It doesn't really last forever. I think I had one last maybe 2-3 months was the longest. And,
wow.
And it was just messing with me here, messing with me there. And then I dealt with it, of course, like you should. Just don't find yourself in that situation in the first place if you could avoid it. If obviously you weren't able to avoid it, you were just at work. But for the rest of us that go out dabbling in this willfully, remember, protect yourselves, folks, and that's what the next story is all about.
Oh, segue.
And I will let Mike handle this one.
Hey, guys, I love the show, and we love you. My name is Jenny, and I'm looking for something to protect me. I don't feel safe in my own house, and everywhere else in town is just as bad. A cross on my wall keeps getting knocked down. Nothing's working. I hear scratches at night that come in threes in my wall, like exactly in threes. Maybe it is a rat or whatever. I am sick of this. There are people walking around at night in black hoodies around the whole town, and everyone acts like it's normal. They call it the curfew club. What the F? People are naming these things. I would move, but I can't afford it, and I work in this town anyway. I can't escape this.
I can't escape this. Wow.
There's a lot I want to reply here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. The whole black hoodies thing, stop being like Joel. Stop being judgmental.
Wait, but now, if there's a curfew club, quote unquote, running around, people that are wearing black hoodies around the whole town, and they know about it, and no one does anything about it. That's strange to me. But yes,
why? What's strange about it?
You know, if you're gonna run around middle of the night wearing a black hoodie, I mean, you know,
it's a hoodie. That's
I understand, but what she conveys is it's more like a club of people, right? Like as you're reading it, what flashed to my mind is a bunch of Satanists running around.
No, 40. I wouldn't go that far.
And Jenny, do you own a cat by chance? That could be part of your problems.
Well, it's definitely would be part of our problem.
The scratches at night, you know, that come in threes. You know, cats are horrible. And if you did have rats, I would hope the cat would kill it. You know, but I will not be judgmental, but there's lots of things you can do. Getting back to what you're asking to protect yourself.
Yes.
Now, if we're talking about otherworldly things, there's lots of things you can do. But if you're talking about physical people running around, 357 Magnum works wonderfully. That takes care of that problem almost immediately. But spiritually speaking, and of course I am joking with the 357 Magnum, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So just want to throw that out there. Bad gun joke.
Right.
But, you know, anyhow, there's a lot of pendants, necklaces people will buy for protection, paranormally speaking, sage, crystals. There's a variety of things. There's not one size fits all. Usually it seems for protection. So really it's what do you believe in? What do you believe that will protect you? You know, that a lot of it's your own personal empowerment for protection, and people use items as a sometimes, not always, because these things do have value and protection, don't get me wrong, but also remember they can sometimes also be a prop. I mean, that could be the thing you're focusing on for your protection, and if you believe it'll protect you, it just might.
Okay, so I don't necessarily think anything that is going on in Jenny's home is paranormal. Because an animal in her wall, besides the whole nothing's working, but that could be electrical, that could just be old appliances, you know, I would need more information on the what exactly is not working. But I mean, things on the wall falling off, the scratches that come at night, the threes are irrelevant to me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's coming in 3, it's probably demonic. No, stop it right there. It's not demonic at all. So I mean, all of this can be explained by an animal in the wall, and so with that, I don't know why you don't feel safe in your home, because there's some scratching and something falls off the wall. If you get more than that, well, then, yeah, you might want to.
Yeah, but devil's advocate here. Is a rat really going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and only scratch 3 times? I mean, are they going to count the 3 scratches? Well, this really messed with her.
Like the waltz, then, maybe not. But I don't know. I would have to hear it.
I mean, granted, maybe the 3 doesn't mean anything, because it usually doesn't. It's just 3. But animals lack the ability, generally speaking, to count.
Maybe she's only hearing it 3 times.
It could be. It could be happening more. But, more information, like always, most of the emails, we love the stories. More information would be helpful, what you got going on that end of things. And as far as the Midnight Crew going on, the Curfew Club, that is such a cool name. That's a cool name. That'd be a cool name for your next paranormal group, Mike. We're the Curfew Club.
No, because that to me means that I have to be in the house by 11.
Well, no, you're breaking all the rules. See, when you're part of the Curfew Club.
Except my team is based on rules.
I know that. I'm talking about if you formed the Bad Boy team.
I see. So if I go over to the dark side, become a ghost hunter.
Well, I was trying to have a little fun with it. Yeah, but speaking of ghost hunters, we have 2 of them coming on next hour here. That's coming right up here. Richel Stratton, Brian Murray. They're both coming on. You've seen them, you know them, you love them. Any television's ghost hunters, they'll be on. It'll be a whole lot of fun. I suggest you guys stick around. But in the meantime, we got 4 minutes to kill. We got to do a 4-minute filler here for a minute.
What? Okay, well, I have one more.
Sure, one more. Go ahead. One more. Hit us.
If you want to come out and investigate with myself and the Odyssey Paranormal Society team, you can do so June 12th and 13th, 2-day event at Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois. And then
what's that costing? What's that costing that trip?
Well, I was going to come back, but right. Because of COVID, and I wanted to still keep everybody, some semblance of safety, so I got rid of over half of the tickets available. So there's only 8 VIPs available. $175 gets you Friday night all the way until Sunday morning, access to one of the most haunted locations in the Midwest. I have investigated before. It's unbelievable. And your lodging is taken care of in the bunkhouses, which are just outside the building. So $175, can't beat that. And we might even have some special guests, hopefully, for that one as well. And then July 24th and 25th, West Virginia State Penitentiary, 2-day event. $200 gets you in the whole shebang, both nights. And that is going to be something that's on my bucket list. I will burn the world to the ground if I will become a cat. if I do not get to investigate West Virginia State Penitentiary. Well, just saying that now.
You need to help Mike, because a mic is a horrible thing to waste.
It is.
Get his bucket list filled here.
I'm so important.
And if you meet him, you'd realize the bucket's never far. And
what? That doesn't even make sense.
The bucket's never far from you kicking it. That's what that means.
Okay.
Oh, so help this man.
Must be an old person.
This man, you know, much like Sally Struthers used to say, only you can save this man. Choose now. Pay a little bit now to save a life. You want to attend this. Don't let a mic go to waste.
It's an awful, awful thing.
Well, potentially it's an awful thing. We don't know yet. He's not gone. But.
Not gone. No, I'm still here.
We'll be right back. We gotta talk with Richel and Brian. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, we do.
We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If you can hear me, then you have an internet connection, which means you can do cool things online, like listen to streaming radio, obviously, or watch a video of a monkey washing a cat. Let your freak flag fly. Or you can book a room at a great price at Motel6.com. Isn't the internet wonderful? Everything you want right at your fingertips, and whoa, did not need to see that. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. You know, set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Northern Tool and Equipment.
So me and the boys head out to tailgate today and find some other fans in our spot.
Well, it happens.
Cheering for the wrong team.
Oh, this is war.
Even worse, they've got this couch set up and everything.
A couch?
Yeah, it's sectional.
All right, first thing, don't ever use the word sectional again.
Done.
Second, I want you to grab a 4,700-pound tow chain with J-hook and grab hammer. Throw that on the back of your truck.
Got it.
Now you're going to Hail Mary the J-hook over the end of that couch. Time to find a better spot for your new friends.
That should do it.
There's no problem a little horsepower can't solve. Northern Tool and Equipment.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Green light. Hey, girl. School zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to After Hours AM. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis. Right along with me is Mr. Michael O'Neill, and we got two great guests on tonight. From A&E's Ghost Hunters, we got Richel Stratton and Brian Murray on with us. Richel Stratton, hey guys, first of all, say hi guys, never met, so it's really an honor to have you guys on. It's been quite the run already that your show has had, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. But before we get too deep into it, I'm going to tell you who these two are. Paranormal investigator Richel Stratton has been ghost hunting for a decade. With most of her investigations conducted independently, she joined her most recent team in Illinois 2 years ago and has participated in over 40 investigations with her group, ranging from private residence to historic haunted locations, like the once spectacular Mineral Springs Hotel, former psychiatric hospital, Ashmore Estates. I've never been there. I'd like to get there one of these days. And the storied Malvern Manor, if I didn't destroy that one. Welcome to the show.
Malvern.
There we go. Brian is a former Marine Corps platoon sergeant. Thank you for his service, Brian, by the way. Brian Murphy is a paranormal investigator on the Ghost Hunters team. Brian uses his military experience to bring an organized, structured approach to each investigation, from creating a plan and assessing tasks to overseeing the mission. From start to finish, Brian founded his most recent team, Riverbend Paranormal, in 2007, and has conducted over 200 investigations, many of them private homes. Well, welcome, guys, to After Hours AM. It is really, like I said earlier, a privilege and an honor to have you both on.
Thank you for having us.
I do have to say, though, Joel, I mean, they couldn't have said it better themselves.
No, yeah, exactly. Thank you to the press release that I dug up on these two with their dossiers. That's what we do in the radio business, man. At least when you get on this level with the millions and millions of listeners that we are blessed to have each and every week.
Wow.
No, I'm just really impressed that you pronounced my name right, which is not usually what happens.
Well,
So
I am a professional. I got the diploma and everything.
I do remember the first time that we talked, you actually said that people confuse you about how to pronounce your own name sometimes.
Mike, why we gotta bring things up like that? Okay. But yeah, like sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how to say my name because it gets said so many different ways that I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Like it could be pronounced that way.
It could be. Wait a minute. So they gaslight you on how to even say your own name. Like, no, it's not. It's pronounced this way. And then you start thinking, well, wait a minute. I've said this way. Because your name is whatever you want to be because it's your name.
Well, they asked me, is it Richel or Rochelle or Rochelle? And I'm like, well, sometimes I say Richel, but sometimes I feel like the majority of the time I say Rochelle.
Anyone that does not get your name correct, obviously, needs to go back to school.
Well, let you know, a lot of people call me Richel. Which I'm like,
Yes.
is that... Please, like, when you see a name spelled weird, try to find the prettiest way to say it and just give the parents the benefit of the doubt that they didn't name their kid Richel. Like, just
yes, that would be an odd name. Well, at least Brian is an easy, straightforward name. So,
well, when I first met her, I thought her name was Rachel, and her sister kept calling her Richelle, and I was like, okay, she's just coming. Bull. That's not how you say it.
Did you guys know each other pre-show, or were you guys kind of put together for the show?
We're best friends. We live 5 minutes from each other, and we actually went to casting together. They had both of us come out. So we've known each other for a while.
And that really that must really affect the chemistry for the better then. When you guys are out there doing this, I mean, it probably becomes more like old hat then, because you do know each other so well.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate, but I will say that nothing can slide past her. You know what I mean? Like, she knows when I'm going to mess up. She knows if I am messing up. So there's nothing that can get past her.
Mm-hmm.
She's like your Santa Claus.
Yes. Like, I don't even have to say something and she'll answer for me, or I don't have to talk anymore.
I actually did that for you when Mike asked me about this today.
Yes.
Because he didn't get back to him, and I said, we're good. And he's like, both of you? I said, yes, I answer for him. We are a unit. I feel like a good deal. I was like, I feel like it's better that way.
Well,
I
do appreciate both you guys coming on such short notice.
Of course. While we're on, like, out investigating with the team or whatever, Brian has Brianisms that the way he says things aren't always the correct way, but I know what he means by things. And, like, sometimes they'll look at me and they're like, what did he just say? And, like, I'll translate. I'm like, this is what Brian said. This is what he meant.
Yeah.
But there's been a few times that he spoke, and then he's like, tell him, Richie. And I'm like, I have no idea what you just said. You even got it past me. Like, I don't know what that means.
I don't feel like I need to even talk anymore. It's just like I just ramble off different syllables, and she can tell.
Yeah,
what it's meant.
Yeah, it's just
you get it?
A connection
So,
you both share that you know each other so well that you got it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of.
I feel like your audio's off for me. Like, I can't hear you.
It's a little bit like when Joel talks and Brian, you want to talk, it like cancels you out.
How about now?
A little bit. I mean, we'll see.
It'll work out just fine.
Dude, to do with where your camera's placed?
I was turning the volume up.
Oh, I thought you were adjusting.
So we'll get this all figured out. Not a problem. The audio end of things that is easily remedied. I got a question for both you guys. How has being on a television show on A&E, Ghost Hunters, and that is a legendary show. I mean, that's kind of the thing that started it all as far as the media thing goes. I mean, there was always In Search Of and shows like that way back in the day, but this is the thing that really peeled back the layer on paranormal investigation. How has being on the show changed you guys' lives?
Brian, would you like to go ahead and go first?
For me, it's really I get a lot more friend requests. I get a lot more of that. And a lot of doors have like opened for people to like come out to their hotels or their locations and things like that. Met a lot of friends. It's been fun. It's been an experience. I mean, I'm super honored, obviously, to be able to carry on the tradition of ghost hunters and investigate these amazing locations, not only with my best friend, but with a great team and under somebody like Grant, who's, I mean, it's Grant Wilson. I don't need to say anything else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've known Grant. The first time I ever talked with Grant was in circa 2004 on radio, and no one knew who the ghost hunters were or what they're all about, and of course that quickly changed as the popularity of the show changed. But Grant's never changed. He's always been the same humble Grant Wilson, even today when I run into him. Still the same guy.
Yeah,
and just that's a great thing. But what I'm getting at is, you know, there must be some type of, I know for me, for this show, the pressure wasn't on in radio until I was with like iHeartRadio, and then it's like, oh crap, now I have to do this right. So now you're on a pedestal in some sense, carrying that moniker, Ghost Hunters. Is there ever a pressure to do to perform, like you feel that you got to put your best out every single time?
No, not for me. Honestly, I feel like every case, every investigation's like a mission, like when I was back in the Marine Corps anyways. I don't feel like I've changed from the first day that I started investigating till now. You know, just because there's a camera on me or whatever and people are following me around and wanting to see what I'm doing, I'm still doing the same things. I still fall downstairs and through them. I still mess up words. I say bad words when I get startled. I mean, I haven't changed, in my opinion, one bit. So the real pressure is just helping out the client.
And that's what really does matter. And the reason why I brought that up before Richel answers is that's not the case for everybody. There's other shows that we've interviewed the people that are on the show in the early days, because a lot of them, back in those days, they're just looking for airtime. We want to get some media exposure to get our show out and stuff like that. And some of those people over the years did not stay humble.
Right.
And that's unfortunate. But it almost became somewhat of an epidemic at one point that the egos almost got too big for their own good. And it's good to hear that you've stayed humble. You're the same old guy as you were before the cameras rolled. And that's a rare thing these days. That really is.
I'm a construction worker. I go to work every day when I'm not doing the show. And I still go to bed at like 9 o'clock at night because I can't sleep later than that. So I'm the same person. Like,
yeah,
I didn't feel I don't need to change for really anybody. I just want to do what I do and help people out and have a great, experience with Richel and the team. And I hope people like it. This is the way I am.
Yeah.
Richel, cool. How about you?
How about me?
How about you?
Yeah. So unlike Brian, I feel like there is pressure in a sense that it's ghost hunters. Like, okay, like started it all. It's ghost hunters, and now you're on it. So don't tarnish the name, type of thing. But as far as investigating, I feel like I've grown as an investigator, but at the same time, I still, like Brian was saying, am me. Like I'm still, like if Brian does something, I'm going to give him shit about it, whether the camera's there or not, just because that's how we are. And when it comes to, like he was saying, when it comes to investigating, I investigate, and it just so happens the camera's following me around, and took a little bit of getting used to for someone else being there, because I know in the beginning, like Brian and I would investigate and we would hear something and we like ask each other, did you hear that? And then I'd ask the camera guy, did you hear that? He's like, you can't talk to me. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I'm like, but you are here. So I need to know, did you hear that as well? And he's like, okay. He's like, but try to pretend like I'm not here. And I'm like, all right, well, that's easier said than done because you're a person standing there. But as far as like my everyday life, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a mom, and nope, life hasn't really changed for me. I don't really leave my house other than when I'm working. When we go to investigate, obviously we're gone a couple weeks at a time, so that's hard being away from the kids and my husband. But when I'm home, like, I don't get recognized, and I don't leave my house, and
that's because you don't leave your house. That's why you don't.
No, like, I mean, I take the kids to school, and like I'll run like some errands and stuff. But I mean, like, I feel like I live my life pretty normal. Like, and the only thing that's really weird is, like, I am getting more friend requests, but on Wednesday nights, I will see myself on TV, and it still, like, is a shock to me because, like, I'll be watching the episode, and I'm just, like, it's almost like you're reviewing footage of, like, an investigation and almost like evidence review, and then all of a sudden a commercial comes on, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is on TV. This isn't just, like, me hooking my computer up to my TV to watch some film that we shot to see if anything happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some differences, but for the most part, I feel like my life's pretty mellow, which I don't mind.
Well, you know, that's the nice part. I know for radio, there's a certain amount of insulation that's given to us because we're only seen if we want to be seen. With radio. So you can, you know, for years, no one knew what I looked like until the social media really got to be a thing. And of course, now I'll get stopped going, oh, I listened to your show last week. What the hell? And I get ridiculed once in a while or get loved or what have you. Whatever
Justifiably,
it is.
yes.
Yeah, you know, whatever it happens to be. But the anonymity was great where TV does not offer that same anonymity. So they see you. Has your interactions been overall, both of you, this question's for both of you, been overall positive with the fans and the public when they do recognize you?
I would say yeah. I take that. I got recognized the other day when I went to go get gas. I went to the gas station, and I was pumping gas, and my hair was a mess. I didn't have any makeup on. Like, I was just like, I was in mist. I had my socks on with, like, my Jesus sandals. Like, I was looking great, guys, okay? But, like,
just tell them it's your pandemic pants that you're wearing. Your pandemic outfit.
I always have a stain on my shirt. I have, like, a Cheeto in my hair. Like, I just look a hot mess, okay? And this person came up to me and started talking to me. And it took me a minute because I was just like, oh, they're friendly. And then they started talking to me about ghosts. I was like, oh. And then they're like, can we get a picture with you? And I was like, oh, they recognize me. I was like, well, yeah, sure. But then, like, when I was taking the picture, like, I was like, okay, like, I don't care about my hair and makeup. That doesn't bother me. Like, Brian will tell you. But I was so thankful that I had put a bra on. Like, I debated because I had, like a jacket that I put over. But I was so happy in that instance because I was like, I'm not only getting close to these people, but I'm taking a picture now. And thank God that the stars aligned and they're like, Richel, don't go outside in public without that.
Now, I'm going to assume, was this recently or was this some time ago?
This was recent.
What social distancing, people. Just because you see them on TV doesn't mean they want you all over them.
It was in Missouri. And like Missouri doesn't have any cases.
Yeah, right? Missouri's been a cesspool for years anyway.
Missouri's case-free. We're good.
I'm
It's
like,
called Missouri. It's called misery for a reason in Missouri. No, I joke.
probably worried that I'm bringing them something. They probably looked at me and were like, "Man, you don't look like that on TV." You're right.
I once lived in Kansas, so I can definitely say that Missouri is a much better state.
Well, I came from Illinois to get gas on the Missouri side because it's cheaper. Also because they're a little bit more relaxed.
That kind of a segue into my next question. We get a lot of that whenever anyone comes on from TV. Is there a big financial windfall of being on TV? I mean, there's this preconceived notion that if you get a TV show, you're going to be millionaires.
No.
I'm still working.
No, I was just about to say, Brian, you'd mentioned you're still working construction. That kind of answered itself.
Can I borrow $50?
Right? So the wages...
My car... I have a car outside that the windshield wipers don't even work. And it's like that's the only car I drive when it rains. So, yeah, they don't even work.
You like a challenge, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just stubborn and dumb.
Well, you know.
You know, that's a lot of people think, not that Brian's stubborn and dumb, but that you make tons of money, and like it's not the case. Like, no, I just bought a Jeep because I wanted one. Brian tried to discourage me from that, but it didn't happen. And I pulled up to my grandma's to get my kids, and my uncle was there. And I got out of the car, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" He goes, "You can see who has the money in the family." I was like, dude. And like my oldest son was like, lots of people have Jeeps. I was like, he's just being mean to mom. It's fine. That's what your uncle does. Like, let's just go. But it was, even the family's like, "Hey, can I borrow money?" I'm like, I have none.
You know, it's funny because radio has the same misconception. When you're like doing an iHeart radio show and stuff, like, you must be raking it in. No, I'm not. And they almost look disappointed.
I say that all the time to you.
They must. They look like disappointed in you. You know, like. What?
Oh no! I was raising my hand. That's me. That I often talk to him as though he's a very rich man.
You are very funny. You're very funny.
I say that in the mirror every day.
It is the Michael O'Neill Comedy Hour, and welcome everybody. And no, but on a serious note, you know, you don't make a lot of money. I've talked to a lot of the celebs. I've dealt with 99.9% of the time when I do like a remote for an event, right, for radio, I'm making more than the talent is, and I almost feel bad for them. I'm like, oh, you're only making that much? Well, I'm not even telling you what they're paying me to cover this thing for radio then. Because, you know, it's sometimes this obscene money that I don't get, though, at the end. Somebody gets it, but it's not always me. But there's that.
Fun,
go ahead.
Sometimes when we're on the road, we'll Google each other and, like, see how much the internet says we're worth. And it's like, damn, I wish I had that. Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
How are you calculating?
I have actually seen that when I did... to get photos for Unity, I did do searches for, and there were some photos there that like net worth, you know, and that was that much. And I remember I was almost going to send it to her. I was searching for Heather Taddy from Paranormal State, an Alien Highway, and it had like net worth and it had NA, and I'm like, oh, you obviously don't have any money.
Now, you guys aren't filming now. That's long since wrapped up. In fact, you got the finale coming up, don't you?
Next week?
Yeah, next week, Wednesday, 9:00 p.m. You go on, check that out. You can see these guys do what they do best. But how has the COVID-19 crisis changed the show and filming moving forward, if at all?
Don't know yet.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen. You know, right now, first things first is everybody's got to remain safe and stay inside and do all that. Once that's over, I'm sure we'll figure out what's going to be next. Just want to get, you know, to Wednesday and see what people think of that episode.
Well, the reviews are great. You guys are really doing well for yourselves at A&E. Again, that's Wednesday night, 9 p.m. You want to check them out on Ghost Hunters, and and we're going to get into paranormal next half of the show, by the way. It's not going to be all about your lives. This is the getting to know you phase for people that might not know you. And if you don't know them, shame on you. Shame on you, I tell you.
What he said.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go to break. We come back. We're going to talk more with Richel. We're going to talk more with Brian. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If you can hear me, then you have an internet connection, which means you can do cool things online, like listen to streaming radio, obviously, or watch a video of a monkey washing a cat. Let your freak flag fly. Or you can book a room at a great price at Motel6.com. Isn't the internet wonderful? Everything you want right at your fingertips, and whoa, did not need to see that. I'm Tom Bodette from Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. I paid more than the minimum each month, and soon enough, it was gone.
So you're just giving up?
Giving up on what?
The life of luxury. Egyptian cotton, caviar Thursdays, designer everything.
What are you talking about?
Our plan. What happened to winning the lottery and mastering the art of the perfect mimosa? Hosting galas, wearing enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it.
I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. Set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k.
Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Northern Tool and Equipment.
So me and the boys head out to tailgate today and find some other fans in our spot.
Well, it happens.
Cheering for the wrong team.
Oh, this is war.
Even worse, they've got this couch set up and everything.
A couch?
Yeah, it's sectional.
All right, first thing, don't ever use the word sectional again.
Done.
Second, I want you to grab a 4,700-pound tow chain with J-hook and grab hammer. Throw that on the back of your truck.
Got it.
Now you're going to Hail Mary the J-hook over the end of that couch. Time to find a better spot for your new friends.
That should do it.
There's no problem a little horsepower can't solve. Northern Tool and Equipment.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to After Hours AM. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis. Right along with me is Mr. Michael O'Neill. And tonight we're talking with Richel Stratton and Brian Murray from Ghost Hunters on the A&E channel. You can check that out. Finale's coming up Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Definitely want to check them out in action. Great stuff. Last hour we kind of talked about everything, kind of going through what it's like in a day in the life of Brian and Richel. But really what I'm more interested in is what got each of you guys into the paranormal. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. Was it pre the hype of Ghost Hunters, or was it after the new revolution?
Brian, go ahead.
Okay. Ladies first.
Yeah, and you speak for both of you anyway.
All right. Ooh, can we do this new thing? Can, like, he tell my story and I tell his?
You can get anything you want as long as I get the story. I don't care who tells it.
Do you want to do that, Brian?
Sure.
Do you know my story?
Foot of the bed.
Okay. All right. So, Brian's 16 years old, trying to date this girl, goes over to her house. He's in the basement with his friend Matt. She goes upstairs. Her mom comes down the stairs and brings drinks and, like, snacks on a tray. She bends over to put it on a table, and Brian sees this man standing behind this woman, and all of a sudden he turns around and disappears. So him and his friend immediately leave. They don't talk to the girl. He was trying to date her. He may still be dating her. He has no idea. He doesn't remember her name. And then ever since then, he's been fascinated by it. He needed to find out more. But the thing about it was him and his buddy did not talk the whole way home about what they had saw until the next day. And they had both seen the same thing and were pretty freaked out. Then when he was serving our country, he seen ghost hunters and was like, hey, I can do that. Like, I can investigate. And then he got into that, started researching, and the rest is history. Was that pretty good, Brian?
That was really good. I'm not going to do as good as her. So,
You're just not going to tell it? That's fair.
So, Richel's about 8 years old, and she's in her bedroom. She's laying in her bed, and she wakes up to what looks like a little girl standing at the end of the bed. Okay? I think it was the next night, maybe a couple nights later, her sister woke up, saw the same thing. Mom really didn't believe them too much. That led them to go out and, kind of mess with the paranormal themselves. Her and her sister, they would do things like that and go on tours, which initially ended up with her sister joining my paranormal group, Riverbend Paranormal. And then shortly after that, her sister tells me about Richel. I have nothing. I don't want nothing to do with her. I already had her sister, so why would I need Richel? And then she evening at Mineral Springs, and now we're on Ghost Hunters together because she was tip-top amazing. So
my favorite part of the story is when you tell people that you wanted nothing to do with me.
Because he already had the sister. Why would he need you when he's got the sister?
First of all, when her sister Jen messaged me, I was at a softball game, and I get this message request on my phone, and here's this pretty girl, and I'm like, oh, it's one of those. Yeah, I'm not going to deal with this. And then, it happened again, and I was like, that usually doesn't happen 2 times in a row. So I messaged her back. She asked me about Richel probably 2 or 3 different times, and I was like, well, we don't really need her. And then she got into an investigation, she came down, and I was pretty much sold.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, I guess there's no way for me to ask this and not sound like irritated or something like that. I got shunned with this, but because I remember you, Richel, you told me about how you had to take this personality test in order to be like a cast member for Ghost Hunters, and I can't help it. I'm like, I didn't get the email that for this personality test. Like, what was it that the producers and the Ghost Hunter people liked about you two that made them select you for the show?
Can I tell them?
No, I'm gonna. You can tell them that story, but I will tell them what they saw in me personally. I have no idea, except they said that they liked that I was mouthy. They said, you don't care who it is. If it needs to be said, you'll say it. They're kind of like you don't care who you're talking to. I don't have a filter, and they liked that. They're like, someone referred to me as like the Howard Stern, and I was like, what? I was like, you're kind of making me sound like I might be like slightly an asshole, but I don't know. And they were like, no, like it's a good thing. Like it's just like you're just say what everyone else is thinking, and it's good. So I was like, okay, but that I don't think that sealed the deal. I think what Brian's going to tell you is going to seal the deal.
So one of the evenings we had to go on an investigation, and we had to see how we actually operate. And of course, they paired me and Richie together, which was perfect for us. You know, we're comfortable with each other. You know, let's go do our thing like we normally do. Either it's gonna lose, but we're doing it together, so let's do it. So at one point, we're in this little house, and we're hearing some noises and things like that, and there's some animals that make a noise outside. Okay, this was a very old house, and Richel looks at me and says,
I hate this story so much.
Did they have farm animals back in the 1800s?
I did not say that.
And I looked at her like, are you shitting me? Like, I looked at her like she was the dumbest person on the planet at that moment. And like, what are you doing? But I said, are you kidding me? Yes. And she called me a dickhead.
I said, you don't have to be a dick and try to make me look stupid. That's not what I meant. I meant, did they have the animals that close to the house back then?
Not what she said.
So, it's not what I said. I know what I said, and what I said sounded really stupid, and I get it. And you called me out on it. 1 for you, a bagillion for me. Okay, whatever. But we started fighting, like bickering back and forth, and then all of a sudden... Yeah, the cameras are on, and then all of a sudden we hear like Chuck like giggling, and it like breaks us out of this little like tiff we're in, because the cameraman was laughing, and we were like, ah, man, like, well, what can you do, right?
Exactly. Sounds like television gold to me.
I think what they liked about it was that we were real, and we weren't pulled back, and we had good. We had a connection. We knew each other very well, and we went at it. And it was...
Now, did you guys know of the other cast members prior to being on the show with them, or were they total strangers to you?
They were total strangers. I know at one point, so obviously Brian and I investigated together, but then they also had us with other people at casting, and it was so funny because one of the producers was like, okay, you and Brian have amazing chemistry. He's like, now go with this guy and have the same chemistry with him. I said, oh, that should be cool. I said, I've known Brian for years, and I've known this guy 10 seconds. Like, that should be easy. Sounds good. Bye. He was like, oh.
And I went with Brandon, so I've worked with Brandon on the show, and I've worked with Richel on the show. It was really easy for me.
I went with Mustafa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was that like, that first experience, having to go with someone that wasn't Brian?
It was fine. Like, it was okay. You know, like, I was like, all right, like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. And then I remember telling him at one point, because, like, we were getting ready to go somewhere, and he said he was scared. And I squatted down. This was another point when we were on camera, and I was like, kept forgetting that we were on camera, and I squatted down and said, suck it up, Buttercup, you're bigger than all of us. And he was like, it's a ghost. I was like, you're bigger than all of us. And then so when we went, I was like, okay. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. And I remember that, like, I was sitting Indian style on the floor, and he helped me up, and I was like, okay, he's sweet. Like, I guess I'll be, like, he's a gentleman. Like, okay.
Question coming in, not to cut you off, but on or off camera, Paul would like to know whether you've had a dude run moment.
Oh, have I? No. I haven't had a dude run moment yet.
And I'm assuming she's referring to the original Ghost Hunters.
Has anybody, not just you two?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think. I think what people we're going to get startled. We get startled, and then we get back in the action. You know what I mean? Like, I've yet to meet a person that doesn't get startled or spooked real quick by not just ghost, loud noise, anything. Nobody's got out and ran or anything like that.
There's a big difference between a calculated retreat and oh my God, I'm out of here. Yeah. Something where you go out and clear your head, maybe look at it from a different angle. Absolutely.
Now, okay. I'm probably going to catch some flack from this, and I'm okay with that. But Mustafa, since we were just talking about him, he did turn to the camera and say goodbye to his family. I think that can kind of be a dude run kind of moment. He just didn't actually, book it.
Mike, we talked about this the other day.
I know. That's why I said I'm going to catch flack for this, but I wouldn't be doing my journalistic job if I didn't point that out. That's all I'm saying.
But he didn't run. I will say that.
No, he didn't.
Now, is there a hard and fast rule since that occurred?
Try and make that policy you can't run.
Is there a rule that says, hey, don't run no matter what?
No.
No, there's no rule. I think everybody on the team knows that they're there to do a job.
Yeah.
And we're going into crazy places, and a lot of these places that we went to in the second season, most people haven't even been there. Teams haven't been there, so we didn't know exactly what to expect when we got, out into these towns that are in the middle of nowhere, into these locations with all these crazy claims. I think everybody knows that they have a job to do, even though you get startled and spooked. Still, you maintain that composure after a little bit, and you get back at it and do what you do. And then later on, when nobody's around, you can go, "Holy shit, that was some intense."
Yeah,
what?
Exactly. Yeah, in retrospect, and
isolations on their own.
Yeah,
in the areas where they're out there by themselves for an hour or whatever it is.
I've done multiple isolations on my own or whatever, and stayed the night at multiple locations. Brian and I have stayed the night at a location. Kristen and I stayed the night at a location. And I'm going to be honest, and this may make me sound like a horrible ghost hunter, but I am so looking forward to getting scared shitless that I feel like I need to run. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't happened yet, but I kind of want it to happen. Just like I want that adrenaline, like I fear for my life, so I need to get out of here. That sounds horrible. Maybe it's because I've been in lockdown too long.
I think that you're not alone. I think a lot of people want that adrenaline rush. And the next question is from Justin. You guys have an interest in other facets of the paranormal, like Bigfoot, aliens, etc.
Dogman.
I'm huge Dogman. Like, that's something that I've been researching probably for the last few months, that I've read and listened to different podcasts, different shows, over 100 claims. I started taking notes on these claims of the Dogman, and they were all so similar that it intrigued me so bad that I want to actually go out and look for this.
Yeah, Dogman is very intriguing. In fact, I had my own sighting of a Dogman.
You did?
I did. I'll share it with you off air. I've said it before on the show, so it's I've said it many times, and it was quite. I was not a believer until it happened. To be honest, I didn't even know what it was. This is long before Dogman was in the lexicon. It wasn't even a thing anyone was talking about. How about Bigfoot? Any interest in Bigfoot? See, I also belong to a Bigfoot community, and I go out there looking for Bigfoot as well on the side of ghost hunting. I like to dabble in it all. Everything paranormal, I like to have my fingers in it.
Put it to you this way. I don't know what I encountered with Brandon in St. Augustine out there. There was some things that was moving the bushes that when I put my thermal camera out there, this was 10 feet from me. I couldn't see a heat signature. I couldn't see anything. There wasn't and I'm talking, you can hear it moving. You could see the leaves in the tree. I thought it was King Kong at one point. That's what it looked like. And I still haven't figured it out. We went to the zoo in Florida. We talked to several different experts, and they ruled out it couldn't be this animal. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of
Okay,
funny.
it was the skunk ape.
My first Bigfoot expedition, I really hadn't thought about this. We were out in the field, and I was kind of talking about how big and this and that, and I was with the BFRO, and he says, yeah, it's about 1,200 pounds, so it can get really big, a lot of reports. And I started thinking about, well, a ghost you can generally walk through or get away from, physically. You run into a Bigfoot, that thing's going to rip you from limb to limb. And the more research I did, I read about a place called Land Between the Lakes, where that happens on a pretty frequent basis to people, where they will
They get
find...
ripped to shreds?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Families have been just decimated, allegedly, by Bigfoot, literally ripped in two and killed. So, I'd really rather run into a ghost than, physically speaking, than a Bigfoot.
Did these families own a cat?
They did not, to my knowledge, own a cat. I know where you're going with that because you believe that cats are the root of all evil. And I'm sure that they are in their own, areas.
I second that.
What? Huh? What?
I second that.
See, there you go.
But they're not, they're not 1,200 pounds and 9 feet tall.
Well, yeah, but what if the cat is framing the Bigfoot?
Well, that's something you're going to have to talk with the cat about to find out its true intentions of nefarious purposes.
They're too smart for that. They don't break under interview, under torture.
Richel, how about you? Anything outside of ghosts that you have an interest in?
Like Brian had said, I like Dogman. I'm interested in aliens. I don't know too much about it, but anytime that someone says that they have had an encounter or they've seen some like mysterious UFOs, I definitely want to know more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm just like my main passion's ghosts, and then
Sure.
I think Dogman is the second, and then like we have to prioritize. And Ghost, Dogman, I wish and hope that vampires are real. And then, we're just getting into weird shit after that.
Good thing that you said, because I've been doing some research on these black-eyed kids and things like that, and I'm trying to figure out where these things belong. And if you listen to the claims and you read some of the, these experiences people have been having, man, you could say that they're aliens. You could say that they could be vampires. I don't know. You check it out, man. It's really cool.
Black-eyed kids didn't come along, for me anyway, in broadcasting until about a decade ago. And they became everywhere. Like, oh my God, black-eyed kids, black-eyed kids. And we were getting email after email, call after call in the show about black-eyed kids. My first question always was, or what I thought right away, and probably didn't always say it, was, do you not own a camera? If they stood at your door for a half hour, knocking incessantly, let us in, we're not going to... You didn't think about snapping a damn Polaroid? What's wrong with you?
I know.
There's never any evidence to bear, even though these sightings, some of them take one person claimed to be under siege for days by these black-eyed children. Not once did you figure maybe I'd take a picture or maybe call the police.
At that point, just let them in the damn house. They ain't going anywhere. Just let them in.
As bad as it sounds, I know I'd let them in. Like,
I know you would.
Paid me. Like, they just knock. I need to use your phone. Come in.
And everyone that has allegedly let them in has run into bad things have happened to them.
I know, but I still know me, and I know that I can't look at them and go, be gone, little vampire.
Well, we talked in 2012, we talked to Brian Bethel, the guy that started it all. That was originally the first guy to see a black-eyed child, and before then it was nothing going on at all. It makes you wonder if they aren't created through almost like a thought form. Enough intention is put towards that one thing that they almost took a life on their own in some areas. Kind of like Slender Man.
Yeah. Yep.
Except about Slender Man. my preschooler, who's now going to be a kindergartner, drew a picture at our Catholic preschool, and the teacher told me, "Oh, he's telling everyone this was Slender Man." I said, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have no idea what that is." I was like, but all I was thinking was like, I look
It's what we call Grandpa. He's really thin.
A horrible parent right now. Like, I leave my children to go ghost hunting, and now they're drawing pictures of Slender Man, telling other children about him. I was like, Levi, do not talk about him at school, please.
Will you join the Slender Man cult with me? That kind of thing going on?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, listen, what? Like, I feel like I'm already kind of the black sheep when I go pick up my kid. You know, I got green hair, and I cuss a little bit, and I feel like, I don't know if the nuns care for me. I'm going to be honest.
So they might be, looking at you with a suspicious eye, is what you're saying.
Maybe. They adore him, though, and I'm like, he's the devil. You guys, that's why we're sending him here. Help him out.
He's the second coming of Damien, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that is not good, and I wish you all the luck in the world in that one, Richel. I'm pretty sure you're screwed.
He's a Sour Patch Kid. He's like his mama. I can't help it. Okay.
Well,
back on to the other subject that we were talking about before I sidetracked us.
All right, I want to get back into ghost hunters, because I've had a question in my mind for like 20 minutes now. Now, from what I have seen while investigating with different teams around here, everybody has their own style of investigating. How easy or hard was it to bring in? I mean, obviously you two knew each other, but for Mustafa, Brandon, Kristen, and Daryl. Why do I think I have that name wrong?
No, you're right, Daryl.
Okay, for some reason that sounded wrong.
Daryl Marston.
They all came in from their own teams. I'm assuming you two are the only ones that knew each other. How are all of their different ways of investigating different from yours, and how hard or easy was that to integrate that into one team?
I feel like the way we all investigate is similar. So it's not, I mean, some people, like, we all like to debunk. We all are trying to find a reason as to why something happened to explain it, that it's not paranormal. But, I mean, for the most part, I feel like, we're all kind of on the same page already. What do you say, Brian?
I think everybody brings a different element, but it comes together very nicely. If you look at Brandon, he's very techy. Kristen, she does well with clients. That's what she does outside of the show. Daryl, he's just a force to go figure it out. He's a little beast, you know what I mean? Rochelle's very intuitive. She picks up on things that nobody else picks up on. I have a military background. I'm the nicest guy on the show. I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm just kidding. No,
you're not.
Military background and things like that, and a construction background, so I use that to help me out. And then you got Mustafa, who, to me, is one of the best historians I've ever seen out there. I mean, he picks things up and he really runs with it. So I think everybody brings their own element to the team, and when it all comes together, we go out there and we do a good job, and we feed off each other's strengths.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, when you joined the team, did you have to change the way you investigate, or does everyone kind of do their own thing? I mean, how does that work for consistency's sake?
I will be honest. So I didn't have to change the way I investigated, but I had to talk through what I was doing, which was weird to me. Because when I investigate with Brian, we know each other so well that I can just do something and he knows where my head's at. But they had told me, like, you need to explain what you're doing and why, like, your thought process on why you're doing it. And that was hard for me in the beginning because I was like, why? And they're like, because the viewers can't read your mind like Brian can. Your other teammates don't, like, they can have a pretty good idea why you're doing something. So that was difficult, like, trying to talk through steps that I'm like, I don't feel like I should. Normally, I wouldn't talk through them. I just do it.
Yeah.
But now I kind of need to explain why I want to go here or why I'm putting this here, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
That does. I mean, that makes complete sense. And that would be, if you're not used to doing it, that would be difficult to get used to in the beginning, to have to explain every move that you're doing for the television audience. So I could see where that could be problematic. One more question. Number one, this is a two-part question from the same person. Daryl would like to know, what do you guys feel about provoking? Number one. Number two, what do you think about, there seems to be lately a demon under every rock. How prevalent are the demonic and the paranormal? So, provoking and demons. Wow, he really kind of packed it in there.
Okay.
Brian is excited, so he goes.
I like to talk about the demon thing. So, I love scary movies. I'm sure you guys do as well. Hollywood painted a picture that every dark shadow, every entity in a house, everything that opens and closes a door or talks to you or you hear this disembodied voice is something evil and bad. There are also things that we see on a daily basis that make that just that. Everything is bad. It's not. In a matter of fact, most things are very, very good. Most things are hanging around because they just want to be here, I believe. You know what I mean? If you look at entities as people just like we do, most people are good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
I don't think that... I think Hollywood is kind of messed that up for us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Damien and all these films.
Well, 1974 ruined it for a lot of people when The Exorcist came out. That's when the demonic really hit the lexicon. The consciousness of America was that right there. Up until then, it was more a religious thing than it was a pop icon thing. And then once that kind of took a foothold in subsequent movies, subsequent shows, that really made everyone think about the demonic first. You know, and nothing else. That's what I think anyway.
And as far as like the provoking, you know, I know how I want people to talk to me. I know if they come at me with a respectful manner and they ask simple questions and easy questions that they're going to get more information from me. You know what I mean? And if we're going into these locations and these places and we're trying to get information for these clients and for ourselves, the easiest way to do that is to be respectful.
Yeah, I'd wholeheartedly agree with you.
Yeah, and I just don't think that, I mean, I can't tell you a time when somebody started screaming at me and demanded I do something besides my drill instructor. Maybe my dad, maybe Michelle, my wife, and maybe Richel. I usually don't take kindly to that.
Sure. Exactly. Richel, what's your views on all that? Same thing? Kind of ditto, or where are you at?
Ditto.
Well, that was short and sweet of an answer. So we only got a few seconds left before you guys are gone from us. Again, this channel is A&E. Check your cable provider or satellite, whoever you who carries your television. Make sure you get A&E. Most of us do. And you can check them out this Wednesday, 9 p.m. It's season finale. So you want to check that out. See both Richel and Brian in action, along with the other crew. And you will be a great team. They're a great team, great time. So it's a great hour of television. That being said, we got to get out of here, Mike.
We do.
End of another show. Closing time, man. Closing.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian and Richel, for coming on. And Brian, just real quick, did Richel tell you about our little game we were playing yesterday? No? Oh, we were wondering who you're going to respond to first. With the whether it was me or her, but apparently she is definitely your best friend.
On that note, we got to definitely get out of here, run out of time. Till next time, guys, take care of each other and love each other. After Hours AM is a production of Midwest Radio Productions. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And please visit www.americas-most-haunted.com.